Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Kevin Key, and I'm still in Jackson, Mississippi at the moment. We are on our off day, and I'm just taking time to relax a little bit, walk around the pond, and reflect. You know, a lot of times we see these nice views and vistas, and we think, oh man, that's so great, that's so wonderful. It's so far away, I can't have these things. You know, this is for them and not for me. And on social media, we don't always show the hard times. We just show, oh, look at this, goals, beautiful things. Oh man, it's so amazing. But, you know, I think about 12 years ago, I was in Los Angeles, and I had to decide if I was going to eat a $5 pizza or put gas in the car. I basically lived out of my storage unit. I was sleeping on the couch in LA. I was having to sleep in my Tahoe, and I remember having to decide on, okay, this blanket's too short, so am I going to cover my feet or am I going to cover my head? And at the time, in the back of the Tahoe, they had these captain seats. So there was a gap between the two seats. And when I was laying across the seats, my side would fall between the two chairs. And so I had to get a duffel bag with my clothes, and I would put it between the two chairs just so my side wouldn't fall in. You know, these are those moments where we make decisions, right? Because I remember I was cold one night in the back of the Tahoe, and the devil basically came to me saying, look at you, you're sleeping in the car, you're in the cold, you're having to use a bucket for a bathroom, curse your God. And I said, no, I'm not gonna do that. I trust you. See, I was making a decision for my destiny. And a lot of times what we don't realize is it's those key moments that define where you're gonna be later. I didn't know I would be here in Jackson, Mississippi 12 years down the line, but that decision was, I'm willing to put the work in. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get to where I wanna be. And a lot of times, we see our temporary moments as forever because we don't really have an idea of the destiny that we want to go to. See, I knew I wanted to be in film and TV, and I wanted to be able to, you know, visit nice cities and be a part of huge things. Yeah. So I was willing to do whatever it took. And a lot of times our feelings and emotions can push us out of the very place we need to be to get to where we want to go. And it's those short, uncomfortable moments. From that, I ended up gaining a strength and a resolve that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. If this is the worst, my best is here to come. Like everything else is up from here. And so, what I'm trying to say to you all is, it's time to make some decisions. You know, you've got to make some choices to be able to decide, do you want to be captive to your moment, or do you want to change your future? And as long as you're being captive to the moment, hey, how y'all doing? Good to see you. I'm doing yeah. And as long as you're being captive to the moment, then you can never focus on future because you're trapping yourself into decisions that are only going to keep you where you are. If I would have decided that I wanted to just make something happen right then and there, it would have fixed that moment. And I would have been out of the car for that moment, but it would not have prepared me for today. So I'm just encouraging you all, as you're going through your moments where you got to decide $5 pizza, gas in the car, understand that that's just a moment. And that if you focus on where you're going and you start to make destiny decisions, you're going to be out of that moment faster than what you think. I mean, look, 12 years later, here I am in a good position doing the things that I love because I was willing to be temporarily inconvenienced. And that doesn't mean I suffered for 12 years. I'm just saying that a lot of times the journey is longer than you think. And along that journey, you've got ups and downs. You've got things that are happening. You got life issues. You got all kinds of stuff. But it's your decision to look at where you're going. Your focus has to always be on where you're going. What are you trying to accomplish? What are you really trying to do? Because if you don't know that, you don't know your why, then it's really hard to walk in purpose. Like, what are we doing it for? What is the struggle for? What is the end goal? Why are we doing it? Like, that is the question. I encourage y'all today, if you don't know what your why is, try to figure out what your why is. Try to figure out what your purpose is. Look at that thing that just gives you life that you're doing. Look at that thing that you just can't do without. And for some people, it's like 5 or 10 different things. And here's the thing about that. You got to narrow it down. You can't just do everything and be great at everything. You just can't. You're going to have to pick what you want to do, focus in, and go with that. I think about on set, we have a union. So the union is broken down into camera department, the grips, the electrics, sound, hair, makeup, and so forth, so on. And each one of these groups has highly specialized things. Now, in the lower levels, you can go out there and be all things all the time. But as you go up to the higher levels and you start doing things that are, more money or more expectation or just higher qualifications and things like that, the gear and the tools become more specialized. And the grips, for example, the key grip, that's the guy that's the head of the grips. He has this huge trailer of just nothing but grip gear so that he can specialize and be the best of what he wants to be in that industry. So he gets hired to do that. He brings his equipment and stuff with him. Same as the gaffer. That's the chief lighting guy. He brings all of his trucks on there. Same thing, camera. Bring in equipment and gear. We all bring in equipment, gear, specialties, gadgets, and so forth to be the best at what we do. But a long time ago, each one of us had to decide what we were gonna do so that we could be prepared to walk in that. So all of this lines up with what I'm saying. 12 years ago, I'm in Los Angeles and I'm trying to be a filmmaker. So after I made the decision to be a filmmaker, I started buying things that lined up with me being a filmmaker. And then I continued to buy things that line up to be a filmmaker. That's the reason why I have all of these different things that line up with that, and I'm able to operate at the highest level. Because I decided that I'm gonna line my destiny decisions up for where I want to be. In spite of where I'm at right now, I gotta start making decisions that are gonna line me up for where I'm going. So I want y'all to start focusing, people, not at where you're standing. Where you're standing is constantly, kind of like as I'm talking to you all right now, I'm walking around this pond and I'm in motion, right? Your life is constantly in motion. So it's up to you to decide the direction. What direction are you going in life? Where is it pulling? Are you just being pulled by life just in an arbitrary direction, or are you focused? So if you want to be able to get to where you want to go, focus in on where you want to be. And then here's another thing that I learned. I think about when I'm going to the airport. And at the airport, you have to go through the metal detectors. And there are certain items that you cannot take with you on a plane. It's completely unnecessary, right? There are forbidden items like weapons, flammables, and all these things that you can't take with you. And you got to be okay understanding that your safety is not in your hands anymore. Now, your safety is in the hands of the other people, TSA and so forth, who are charged with that task. And you're going to have to be willing to let go of certain things to go to another place. And I realize that some of us are still trying to hold on to these mechanisms and these tools and these weapons that we think we need, you know, to protect ourselves and going to other places. And that's fine if you want to carry them, but you can't carry them on a plane. So where the people that are willing to let go of some of these baggage items that are not able to be carried on, or these weapons or these tools or whatever to get on a plane, which consequently is interesting, there's a plane right there, you're going to have to take another mode of transportation. And that mode is much slower. So you think you're doing yourself a favor by saying, well, I'm not going to conform. I'm going to carry all my weapons. I'm going to carry all my baggage. I'm going to carry all these extra things that I need. I need them. Now you got to drive to that destination, or you got to take a bus. Where the other people were willing to shed the weight of stuff that they did not need, they got on the plane and they're already at their destination. You may get there depending on where the destination is going to. Some places you can only take a plane. So you got to decide, is what you're carrying worth more than the destination? This is yours truly, Kevin Key. And I just want to encourage y'all, make destiny decisions. And depending on what the destiny is you want to go to, you might have to drop a few things. You may have to realize that somebody else is better at your security and protection than you. Some places, certain things just can't go. And you got to decide if you want to continue to hold on to those things, or go where you're supposed to go, or go where you can go, or go where you want to go. This is Kevin Key, and I'll see you again. I'm signing off from Jackson, Mississippi. Bye.